Hello, how you doing today, YouTube? I hope you're doing very well. This is Life Under Trump, part 101. We have gotten our way from 100 yesterday to part 101. Every day is something new going on with Donald Trump and Elon Musk. From example, yesterday at one of Trump's dinners, Elon Musk sitting there making planes from the metal forks and spoons. While the Secret Service standing there looking at him like, God, what is this man doing? I'm so embarrassed to have to cover somebody like this. That somebody is not an elected official, but he gets to ride on Air Force One, and he has our people protecting him. We got a lot to cover. Today is one of those days where I was like, okay, God, should I go live today? Because Donald Trump and Elon Musk are weighing this world out. Yes, this is Life Under Trump, part 101. All of y'all, when y'all come in, hit that like button for me. Come on, hit the like button. Don't do me like that. Show me some love. I need love. I'm like LL Cool J. I need love. Hit the like button as you come in. And if you want to support my channel, send me a super chat. Also, my Venmo is in my description. If you want to send me money and you have Venmo, send me a Venmo. Also, my PayPal link is in the chat as well, is in the description as well. Again, this is Life Under Trump 101. Life Under Trump part 101. Life just going on down the drain for Tesla. Life is just going on down the drain for Elon Musk. Hey there, King Allen. Hey, Queen Victorious One. How all of y'all doing? Thank you. Thank you for putting my Venmo in there. Yes. So again, we got a lot to cover. Every day is something with Donald Trump and Elon Musk. From JDVance being mad because Donald Trump has made Elon Musk his #1 guy. Donald Trump is the vice president and Elon Musk is the president. Let's get started. Also, you can purchase memberships. So check out the memberships. Thank you. Give some others some memberships. If you feel happy and jolly about what we're covering today, give somebody a membership. One moment. So first, I am going to show you something from Rosie O'Donnell. And you know how people been moving out of the country? Well, she too has moved out of the country because of Donald Trump. Hold on.
You know, a lot of people did vote for him.
Yes.
Do you accept their right to do that and their opinion of him?
Well, I respect their right to do that. I question why the first time in American history a president has won every swing state and is also best friends, and his largest donor was a man who owns and runs the internet. So I would hope that that would be investigated and that we would see whether or not it was an anomaly or something else that happened on election night in America when Kamalaharris was filling up stadiums with people who supported her, and Donald Trump was not able to do that. So it's curious to me, and as an American and a believer in democracy, I would hope that we would be able to look at all of the reasons why this happened in our country.
Conor McGregor ended up in the Oval Office this week. What do you think that says about the state of US politics?
It's very depressing. And it seems very strange to me that the President of the United States has so many friends who are sexual abusers.
Why do you think...
I second what she has said. It is quite something that the people that Donald Trump surround himself with, they have the same thing going for them as he does. The things he has been found guilty of. They too have done those things to people. From going against women's rights, touching them when they don't want to be touched. He surrounds himself with those type of people.
Hey, good morning, y'all. It's a beautiful day here in South Florida. This message is to the white church. What the fuck are you doing? What is it about Donald Trump that reminds you of Jesus? When I think about how the church, the white church, I can only speak to the white church, and by the way, I was raised Catholic. I'm ordained. I've preached in the Pentecostal churches in Arkansas, and I've been deconstructing, about done deconstructing for the last 20 years nearly. I had to step back. One day I was in the shower and I was rinsing out my hair, and it just popped out of my spirit. I said, holy shit, I'm not a Christian. I cannot abide by what the church is doing in this country. The support for this person, this adjudicated rapist, 34-time felon, somebody who said he'd roll his daughter, for God's sake. And y'all are supporting him like he's the second coming. Somebody said the other day, y'all been screaming about the Antichrist showing up for 2,000 years, and he shows up on the scene and you buy his Bible. What is it about him that reminds you of Jesus? I'm going to hammer this point home because the church is absolutely wrong, and the church is going to be judged. That's it, man. And I personally have put you on the balance, like the scripture said. We put you on the balance and found you in want. You got to change your ways.
Hello, Miss Bugs. Hey,
I have a
Queen.
mandate to speak out against evangelicalism in this country, and I'll be damned if I roll over and not do what I'm supposed to do. It's time the church get its shit together and start going after what they're supposed to be doing. Feeding the poor, right? Clothing, healthcare, housing, all the things that Jesus talked about, man. If you got 2 coats, you give one away if a dude's cold. What is the profit of man if you have 2 coats and he's cold and you don't help him out? It doesn't. It's the point. It is time for the church to step up and do its fucking job. You guys have bastardized the gospel, and you should be ashamed of yourselves. You're not, but we're going to work on shaming your asses and making damn sure that we either shut you down or you get yourself right. It's time. It's over with this nonsense in the United States. I love all y'all, but I'm not going to put up with this shit from the church. I love y'all. Peace. You take care. I'll post later.
Yep, it is quite strange how others have compared Donald Trump to Jesus Christ. There's no comparison. He don't walk the walk of Jesus Christ. He walks the walk of the Antichrist. When are y'all gonna wake up and see what is happening? There's no way in the world you can compare Donald Trump to Jesus Christ. It could never be. This man is atrocious. He is a menace to society. He could never be holier than thy, Jesus Christ. No, he couldn't. No, he can't.
Hey, Donald, buddy. It's time for your weekly check-in. How you feeling?
Fat, dumb, foolish.
Well, those are extremely valid feelings, especially for you. What have you been doing to feel that way?
Scamming this country.
Yeah, I see that you've been signing a bunch of unconstitutional executive orders, and you claim to have a mandate and you want unchecked powers.
That's true.
Okay, Donald, we've been through this delusion of grandeur before. The government is based on checks and balances. No one branch is more powerful than the other. Do you remember when we talked about your narcissistic delusion of dictatorship? What did I say?
It's a big problem.
Yeah, it's a very big problem. And how do you think that's affecting your relationships?
Lots of good relationships.
Okay, Donald, that's more delusions. You need to come back to reality.
This is not going to work out.
Now, what do you think the world actually thinks about you?
He's a lunatic.
Yes, that's exactly what they think, and more. Now, how does that make you feel?
Doesn't matter to me at all.
Okay, Donald, this won't work if you're not honest with me or yourself. Donald, do you think that maybe you just want people to like you?
Yes.
And do you even like you?
What are you doing? You mean...
Okay, Donald, I'm just trying to get to the root of your issues. Are these questions too much for you? All right, let's switch gears. How's your whistling practice going?
So far it's been okay.
You want to show me? And how do you think you did with that?
I think that was wonderful.
Okay, subject seems to be in a constant state of delusion.
What?
Okay, I think we're all done here, Donald.
I think we're all done here, Donald. I think Donald Trump is done. Because sooner or later, he's going to get put out of that Oval Office. If he's not put out, jdvance, Elon Musk and the people that wrote Project 2025 just may clunk him out. Why do I say that? Hold up, wait a minute. They gonna get Donnie, so he better get ready. You better get ready. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Can y'all hear it? Can y'all hear that? Let me know if you can hear it. Were y'all able to hear that? A little? Okay. Because I turned it up as loud as I can get it. Hold on. Let me try something different. Hold on, okay? Because I want y'all to hear this. Because I played some of it. So we're going to try this again. Because JD Vance is tired. Let me know if you can hear it now. Hey, Queen Vera. Can you hear it, Vera? Queen? Hi, Queen, sweet, beloved. Hey, Keela Swan. Well, anyway, that is JD Vance. He was voicing his opinion of how he's feeling about Elon taking his spot. JD Vance feels, I am the elected official. Why am I being treated this way? So what's going to happen? The Heritage Foundation, JD Vance, they will do what they got to do because they feel they have enough money and power. They can do whatever they want to do. They are the ones that helped put Donnie Boy in that White House. Whether it was cheating or not, they helped put Donnie Boy in that White House. And if they have to, they will do what they got to do. But we're going to get a little bit more tea on the situation.
Well. I just did a video with some audio. You know the video. Yes, with the audio of JD Vance having a full-on Brady Bunch breakdown, baby. Yes. Just Marsha talking about Elonia Muskrat, honey. I love it. And I do believe it's actual real audio. There are certain things that can let you know whether or not audio is AI generated. It has to do with the cadence and the pronunciation of words as they flow. AI has a really hard time with that. This audio doesn't have any glitches within the cadence. It doesn't have any glitches within the accents or the dialect. I believe it is 100% real, actual audio. But it brings up something that I want to talk about. Because we knew during the election cycle, Daddy Dumpy Vance was talking about getting rid of Article 15. You know, the one that states that the president is mentally unstable. The vice president and Congress can have him removed. And I made videos about it then. The real threat was J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is backed by Peter Thiel. Now, Peter Thiel hides in the dark, but he is one of those South African tech bros, baby. Yes, and Peter Thiel does like to steal all your data and all your information. He's actually started an app to bring you closer to God through Catholicism. His twisted ideas of it. He's the one that convinced J.D. Vance to convert to the Catholic Church. And now they're trying to pervert the Catholic Church. Anyway, Peter Thiel has his hands in all kinds of tills, as they say. He is the financial backer behind the foundation, honey. Yes, you know, the group with the plan. Yes. And they picked JD as their man. And this scared a whole lot of folks. It even scared me. The thought of somebody even worse than Daddy being in charge. I've since changed my opinion about that. Let me explain to you why. I hope with all of my hope and all of my heart that J.D. Vance and Congress enact Article 25 and have Daddy removed. Do you think Daddy is going to step down quietly? No, baby. He's not. He's going to call on his fairy little Proud Boys and his Peckerheads and his Peckerwoods to come in to defend his honor just like he did before. Who do you think they're going to direct their anger towards? Their vitriol. Ding, ding, ding. J.D. Vance, the Heritage Foundation, and Peter Thiel. Yes, baby. Do you think J.D. Vance has a hell of a chance? I don't. I do think, however, though, that he might just so end up on that list, that very short list of presidents who caught one. Yes. And it will be at the hands of Daddy Dumpy Pants and his fans. So please, by all means, expeditiously, can we, JD? Go ahead, baby. Right ahead. Might just be the play that will end absolutely all of this. Just a thought, though.
And hopefully something happens. I'm saying any means necessary, as long as black people keep their hands clean. Don't get out there marching. Don't get caught up. Because that is their goal, to take us down. Black and brown people, stay woke. Ryan says, ha ha. LaSwan, thank you, my love. Thank you. Alan says, can you elaborate? Oh, you're talking to somebody in the chat. Queen Victoria Taurus one said, no march and remain in the restful state. That's what we're going to do. We're not putting ourselves in jeopardy anymore, helping anyone else again. Never will we do it again. Okay.
Hey, good morning, y'all. It's a beautiful day here in South Florida. This message is to church, to the white
Oh, I think I
church.
showed it already. I'm sorry. I showed it already. I apologize. We're going to just skedaddle on over to some Tesla news, okay?
We really should weld these bumpers on, but that takes time, equipment, money. So we use super glue instead. We really should weld these bumpers on, but that takes time, equipment, money. So we use super glue instead.
As you all know, right now with Tesla Cybertrucks and some of their cars are being recalled. Some of their cars are rusting and they're not even old cars. The Cybertrucks, when driving down the roads and the highways, the panels are falling off, hitting other cars. The bumpers are coming apart. Everything about the Cybertrucks that are made by Tesla, Elon Musk, just falls apart. There's no mercy for Tesla nor Elon. Or should I say Tesla, like Donald Trump says, Tesla. I wish that Fred Trump and Marianne Trump would have put Donald Trump in speech class, because that man cannot speak great English, nor can Melania Trump.
It's too late to really say this, but I want to say it. You will never in a million years convince me that Trump actually won that election. I watch comment sections. Mind you, I live in an area that goes 80-20 conservative. And I read news stories in the comments and how negative they are towards him. And I look at certain little things like what voters did, which my area went less for Trump in 2024 than they did for Trump in 2020. But yet somehow he won all the swing states. You're not going to convince me that when he alludes to the fact that Musk helped him win, that didn't happen. We've had democracy stolen from us, and it will take blood to get it back.
I second what this young man has said. You cannot convince me that Donald Trump actually won this election. He said for himself that Elon Musk helped him rig the election. What more do you need? The man said it out his own mouth, his foul mouth.
Kamala wasn't supposed to win. Hear me out. Kamala did exactly what she was supposed to do. She was supposed to show black people that we actually are together. That's the first thing. The second thing is, that was our last fucking act of empathy for everybody else. Because that's what we was trying to do. We was trying to save everybody. You feel me? It's okay for everybody to be here when it comes to black folks. We don't give a fuck. If you want to be a boy, girl, or a little pig when you wake up in the morning, be that. Okay? We were okay with that. But guess what? The universe said, nah, that's all I want you to see. It's always been y'all. It's always been y'all caring about everybody else. No. She did a job, and she did a great fucking job. She did. But we're going to let this man show them. We're going to let him show them what it is. And who was vouching for everybody? It was always us. Now look at you. Fighting for your motherfucking rights. And you voted for that. Y'all literally voted for the man who called y'all this a little bit of time before he yeah, y'all voted for that man. Y'all voted for that man. He said a lot about everybody, but y'all was so focused on what he said for black folks that you thought that that's who he was finna try to give a hard time. That's what you thought, didn't you? Yeah, Kamala was the last straw for us. We tried. But y'all snoozed on black people. You snoozed. Now we're going to let y'all ass sleep, and you mad. You need us next to you marching. Oh, no, stink about it. Our last march was that vote for motherfucking Kamala. At this point, we don't have a choice but to embrace what the world is showing us. But let me show you what I'm seeing. I don't know what y'all seeing. But I see a lot of motherfuckers begging for the black people to come stand beside them.
Nope.
Even though you betted against us, y'all think y'all could play in our face like that, though? Y'all think we that motherfucker? I don't know. What do you think? Tell me. What do you think? We tried to save y'all. You hear me? Because we actually cared about people. But now y'all wondering why, if y'all the 92% and you the 86%, why y'all not out here? Why the fuck would we do that? Think about it. It seems black folks was the only people standing together. My very much vision that I want to see for our lead this earth is black people together. And let me tell you something. I've seen it. I'm watching it. I'm looking at it right now today. I am happy. I am happy. I'm very much happy. So yeah, that's my perspective on what happened. And I hope that it might help somebody else. Kamala did exactly what she supposed to.
It did. Although the situation with the election hurt, yes, it did. But it actually did the opposite of what Donald Trump and Elon Musk thought it was going to do to black people. Segregation, we're laughing in your faces. It has brought us together. We're not the ones on TikTok crying because we lost our jobs. We're not the ones on Instagram, etc., crying because Donny Boy has taken our Social Security and our health insurance. My mental health is falling. Why, dear Lord? Trump, come save us. Trump is the enemy. How he gonna save you? He is the enemy within that took your Social Security, that has taken your Medicaid and Medicare and your SNAP. And he's not done with you. When you vote for a racist, what do you expect? You're a racist. Okay.
Breaking news. Breaking news. We got some crazy shit happening right now. From what I heard and what I saw, the hacker group Anonymous has
Hit that like button, please. Thank you.
Agent Orange and got his personal social security. And from what I know, FBI is all over this shit trying to figure out who this guy is and who they are. Because there's some shit about the leak, and I'm sure it's around everything that's involved in his spending because they got his social security, and it's gonna be around that little island that he's not releasing any information on because he is plastered all over it like a bukkake porn film.
I saw the flight logs. I showed y'all the flight logs. You know what Alan he's talking about, the EpiAl, like the EpiPen. I showed you all the flight logs, and the orange man was all over it. All over it. His handwriting. This is Life Under Trump, part 101.
They about to overturn gay marriage.
Y'all voted for this.
Is bad again.
You shouldn't have voted for him.
Well, I'm not gay. That won't affect me.
And if you are one of those people, I just want to say to you, you need to take your scalp out of the orifices in which you poop from. Don't devour feculence. It's as easy as following breadcrumbs back home. Once gay marriage is kaput, they're coming after you interracial couples. Of course, they're going to go after the
That's what you voted for.
First. And out of those black and white interracial couples, you know they're coming after the ones that got black males and white females. They're coming after y'all first. Black women, you out here with Hank and John and Bob, they coming after you next. After that's said and done, they're going to come after the white women who got themselves a Latino. So if you thought you was on the right side because you had a white on your side, they coming for you too, Pablo. Juan, Jesus, they coming for you. I know you thought voting like that was going to make them like you, but I ain't going to hold you. That was stupid. Then after that, they coming after the Indian and white interracial couples. I don't know how they going to swing it, being that the vice president is... They going to figure it out, though. Them white and Asian interracial couples, they safe as fuck. Because the white man's in charge, and the white man got a fetish. Talk to me nice. And once they done with all of that, and they got everybody back in their group, loving who they want them to love, they bringing it back to Jim Crow. What the fuck you thought they meant when they said, make America great again? This bitch ain't never been great. It's been great for them. They literally voted to take things away from people. That's crazy. That's crazy.
You voted for Donald Trump. You voted to destroy your entire life. Everything that this young man is talking about is in effect. There is a lot of gay people that did vote for Donald Trump. I don't understand why, because they voted against themselves. There's a lot of white people that voted for Donald Trump. They voted against themselves. When they thought he was talking about getting rid of DEI, it was going to only affect black people. That joke was on you. Because the vast majority that it has hurt, who have lost their jobs, are who? White people. Yeah. A prime example of comparing DEI. We're going to show you a prime example of comparing DEI. So this is some DEI for your ASS. See, Caroline thought her pearly white skin meant a lot. Although the black woman is a lot more educated than Caroline. You see, Caroline's husband is part of Project 2025. But the black lady has the education that Caroline would never have. So when you compare the two, who's the worst? Okay, DEI, Karine Jean-Pierre. New York Institute of Technology, BS degree. Columbia University, MPA. Lecturer in International and Public Affairs at Columbia University. Senior Advisor and National Spokeswoman, themoveon.org. Political analyst, News, NBC News and MSNBC News. Regional Political Director for the White House of Political Affairs. Deputy Campaign Manager, Senior Advisor to Joe Biden 2020 presidential campaign. Fluent in English, French, and Haitian Creole. Experience and continues too much to display. That's how powerful the supposed to be DEI, because she black, the black woman. So let's get on over to the white woman, Caroline Leavitt. Okay, Caroline, softball scholarship, St. Anselm College. Trump assistant, MAGA spokesman, woman. Fox News intern. Violated campaign finance laws and never paid. Married to a 60-year-old multi-millionaire at 27. She's a blonde. It only gets worse from there for Caroline Leavitt. So if I was going to choose a DEI, I would choose the educated black woman. Yes, I would. And it has nothing to do with my beautiful black skin, because she has beautiful black skin. It's just so simple. Black people go on the merits of the education, while white people go on the merits of the white skin, pomade. When you want to claim DEI, y'all need to do your homework. Do your homework, okay? I'm going to give you a little bit more on Caroline Leavitt, Donald Trump's spokesperson. The one that's not educated enough to have that job, but it was given to her because of her pearly white skin, like the color of my pomade. Okay, 4 things you didn't know about Caroline Leavitt. Her husband, Nicholas Rico Resale, is a multi-million-dollar worth, over $50 million. Her husband is a trustee for the Heritage Foundation. Her husband donated over $5 million to Trump's campaign and allowed the campaign to utilize his properties at no expense for gatherings and events. Nicholas, her husband, helped write Project 2025. Her job is an obvious conflict of interest. So, should she have been the spokesperson? It's a conflict of interest. But Dunny doesn't care about that. He only hires lawyers, people that's loyal to him, not to America. See, the Oval Office worked for the American people. She worked for the American people. Our taxpayer dollars paid Caroline Leavitt. But under Donald Trump, he only gonna hire people that's loyal to him. The American people does not matter to him. Okay.
Ordered the deportation of 500,000 Cuban, Venezuelan, and Haitian immigrants that came here the right way. And my question for my fellow Cubans is, are y'all still feeling special? My entire childhood was spent being fed the narrative that our family came here the right way, and that everybody else that's complaining about being deported, well, they just need to go back to where they came from, start the process over legally. I don't want to ever hear another Cuban American say some shit like that ever again. I'm going to laugh in your face. Maybe you all will finally realize that no matter how much you try to blend into white Western European culture, no matter how much you try to pretend that you don't eat ham croquettes for breakfast and that you've never had ayako for dinner in your entire life, the problem is that Donald Trump is never going to see you as human. It's always been about racism. Here's the part that we like to talk about in our homes when no one else is listening, but I'm going to go ahead and say that quiet part out loud. You all think that you are better than every other type of Latino American. Conservative Cuban Americans, MAGA Cuban Americans, think that you are better than every other flavor of Latino American. And now we have proof. You are no different. We are no better than anybody else. No matter how many times you place your vote for Donald Trump and the Republican Party, they are still going to see you as subhuman. And even if you hang your hat on the fact that you came here the right way, at the end of the day, it's not going to matter to him, because if he wants you gone, he's going to find a way to disappear you.
Well, well, well. I guess the white skin doesn't work on Cubans either. See, the Cubans thought because it was dark-skinned people that looked like me, they would be gone. Dunny doesn't care about that light skin, baby. Yeah, it's near his white skin, but he doesn't care. He still look at you as a brown person. And black and brown people, he do not like. So because you're closer to Pumet, it doesn't matter.
Donald Trump is sworn in as the 47th President of the United States. Unfortunately, he keeps his promises. Trump seizes control of a divided government, signing hundreds of executive orders implementing Project 2025. Trump replaces over 50,000 civil servants with hardline MAGA loyalists. The federal oath of office now requires declaring loyalty to the president, not the Constitution. Protected by the Supreme Court's grant of total immunity for official acts, Donald Trump orders the Department of Justice to arrest members of the January 6th Commission, current and former DOJ employees, and political opponents for treason, election interference, and conspiracy. He declares it to be an official act. Trump ends birthright citizenship by executive order and turns millions of American-born citizens into illegal aliens overnight. Mass deportations begin. Hundreds of thousands, including legal U.S. residents and American citizens, are imprisoned in newly built camps. Protests erupt. Trump addresses the nation from the Oval Office, invoking the Insurrection Act and declaring the protesters a danger to American sovereignty. He orders the National Guard to use deadly force to suppress the protests. In the wake of the bloody violence, Trump declares nationwide martial law, awarding himself new powers under the freshly signed American Sovereignty Protection Order, which defines protest of immigration policies as non-protected speech and a threat to national security. Governors in New York, California, Illinois, and elsewhere declare their opposition, promising to refuse compliance in their states. Trump orders their arrests. Trump pardons every January 6th attacker, including those who assaulted the police, and in a White House ceremony issues a new presidential medal honoring them. Many are
Hit
given
the like
jobs in
button,
his
please.
administration. The Department of Education is renamed the Department of American Values and mandates a nationwide Christian nationalist curriculum for all schools receiving federal aid. Trump, joined by Speaker Mike Johnson and evangelical leaders, announces that the Department of Health and Human Services has reclassified mifepristone, making it illegal to distribute or prescribe, as well as new HHS regulations that make IVF treatments impossible to legally administer. Trump reverses one campaign promise by declaring a national abortion ban by executive order. Challenges to his authority are rejected by the Supreme Court, which has seen new appointments from Trump after it was expanded to 12 justices. He signs an executive order removing abortion records from HIPAA privacy regulations and announces a new federal data sharing program so states can monitor women's periods. Thousands are detained while crossing state lines under suspicion of seeking an abortion. Trump's acting Secretary of Defense, a disgraced ex-general, fires over 400 generals and admirals, leaving the military leaderless. Other Trump appointees purge the ranks of the CIA, FBI, and Department of Justice. By executive order, Trump withdraws the United States from NATO and ends Pentagon cooperation with Ukraine. Russian tanks enter Kyiv. Vladimir Zelensky is killed, it is announced that Trump will run for a third term, claiming he was unfairly cheated in the 2020 election. The Supreme Court ultimately agrees with this interpretation, paving the way for Trump's 2028 re-election. If you hear all this and believe it is impossible, then ask yourself, what did you believe was impossible just 8 years ago? This isn't a fantasy. It's Trump's plan, and he's counting on you.
Trump's counting on you again, America. Are you going to stand up for him again and be made a fool of and lose all your rights and all your benefits? Are you going to join what is the side that is fighting for everybody? The side that's not fighting for just the YT people, but everybody in this country. We're doing the right thing. You need to get on the right side of this country.
It is wholeheartedly my belief that the United States was never great. I feel that the United States was formed and founded, whatever you want to call it, on the mass graves of indigenous people and then on the backs of enslaved Africans. And I think you can't ever call something great when it was made that way. And you can sit here and say, all countries had slavery, all countries did terrible things. You're right. But not all countries want to have this golden plaque for being great for all time. Do you see the difference here? And I think most U.S. citizens are dealing with an identity crisis right now. I don't know if identity crisis is the right word, but most American citizens are now realizing that we have been fed the American lie. I know that it was called the American dream for so long, but in reality, it was the American lie. It was the lie that if you come to the United States and you just work hard, you can have all these great things and have this great life. And it has transpired into, I'm not going to say the American dream was never alive, because I think baby boomers were born quite literally into a perfect economy. But it has transitioned into the American lie, because these days it doesn't matter how hard you work. It doesn't matter what.
Doesn't matter how hard you work.
Scraping for change. And the country has only been so prosperous because they have fed us this idea that we should be grateful that we live here because we live in the greatest nation in the world, et cetera, et cetera. And the reason why the government doesn't like social media, why the government wants to take our right to see people all across the world with the touch of our fingers, is because they know that we're now.
Y'all. Hold on. Sorry about that. Hold on.
They don't like that they have spoon-fed us the idea that China is some third world country, and people get on Red Note and people in China are like, you guys really have 2 jobs? You guys really have to pay to go to the doctor? You guys really have that many homeless people? The Chinese were just as shocked as us to see that we live in a third world country, and we were just as shocked to see that they don't. We were just as shocked when we learned that Mexico is a first world progressive country, because we've been told for, my whole life that Mexico was plagued with violence and people they're just finding bodies on the streets. And in reality, the United States is the third world country. I used to say this all the time. The United States is a third world country in a Gucci belt.
I second that, Queen. I second her. Just as we have been fed that story that Africa is so bad, it's so gross. Go look at Africa. We're not living that way. Don't you know you can rent a brand new condo for $2,700 a year? That's a month here in Buckhead, in Atlanta, Georgia. It costs you that a month. $2,700 to have a condo in Atlanta, Georgia. But in Africa, in different places in Africa, you can get a condo for brand new for $2,700 a year. China, cheaper than that. They don't even have, some of them don't even have electrical and water bills. My electrical bill is so high because I'm in a red state, I want to cry. I'm like, God, how in the what is my electrical bill that's high? But right now, if you're living in a red state, you're gonna feel it. I live in Georgia, a red state, and my Love my Jesus Christ. That electrical bill is crazy. It shouldn't be that high. I never had electrical bills that high before. Like she said, they tried to make us believe that China was so bad. No, Mexico, and I've been there several times. I love my Latino people. Yes, I do. Mexico is in better condition than where we are. That's why President Claudia Sheinbaum don't mind standing up for her country, don't mind fighting for the Gulf of Mexico, because she knows the truth. And when y'all learn the truth, you're gonna wake up. Please. Africa is nothing what Donald Trump and Elon the musty one says. Mexico is nothing what they're telling us. They want us to stay trapped. China laughed at us because we're so behind. And Donald Trump is setting us back many years, y'all. Wake up. When we just begun to get a good foot to get ahead, here comes Donald Trump, number 47. What does he do? He don't just suppress black people. He's suppressing everybody in this country. White people, hear me out. You're being treated like black people, and you know you don't like that. When are you going to stand up? But I will say, thank you, Jesus. A lot of white people are fighting back right now that are Republicans. From the town hall meetings to getting out there marching. Stand up for your country. If you love this country, hit that like button. Come on now. Hit the like button. I love y'all. Hit that like button. And if you want me to read your comments, you know what to do. Send this beautiful black woman a super chat. Hold on. I don't know why it's on mute.
26,000 unaccompanied minors. Over 85 non-for-profit organizations had a federal contract with the government to provide legal services for unaccompanied minors. These services not only help them gain legal status in the United States, but also help them combat human trafficking. Unlike criminal courts, immigration courts do not provide free legal representation, so now children as young as toddlers are forced to represent themselves. He said he was just coming for criminals, now he's coming after children.
We saw this when in his first term. He took children and separated from their parents. And to this day, in this 2025, we have no recollection of any idea where those beautiful brown children are. But I tell you what, if it was some pearly white children like my pearly white teeth, Donald Trump will gladly put those children back with their families. But then I think about it, no. He don't care about the American people. So he would not do that either. He will not put the children back with you as well. America has a problem. And they have a man in the White House that don't care about any of us. And you're not going to learn anything, MAGA, until you have lost it all.
Out of 4 blacks in America have a mom and a dad around. Magicians get you to look up here. You don't realize that this is the whole time. Of white collar crime. 75%.
Moderators, let me know if you can hear this, please. Okay, you can't hear it at all? Can you hear me, Queen Vera? Can you hear me? Thank you. Thank you, Vegan. Let me know if you can hear me. Because you probably couldn't hear the audio for some reason because it was recorded so low. Thank you, King LaSwan. Okay, we'll skip that video. We'll go on to the next thing, okay?
Breaking news, Donald
Can
Trump's
you hear
SEC
this one?
filings show that the Trump campaign has funneled millions of dollars to a company
Hey
that
there,
was just
Ariel.
created out of thin air. So the company's name is Launchpad Strategies, LLC. They were created in November of 2023, and yet they have received $3.1 million from the Trump campaign, making it the second highest used vendor from the Trump campaign. And the shadiness does not end there. The company has no home address.
It has no functioning website.
Scamming.
It has no leadership team that can be found. It was incorporated in Delaware, but lists North Carolina as its home base, and yet North Carolina officials say they have absolutely no record of a company under that name. Now, this will most assuredly spark an FEC investigation. And if what we all think is the case is indeed the case, this could create another legal entanglement for Donald Trump, again, for financial fraud. Will it? Well, stay tuned.
He did it his first campaign, and when he was running for president in 2016. It doesn't surprise me. Anything that Donald Trump does, it does not surprise me. The man is a con. He has 34 felonies. So will it surprise you? It doesn't surprise me. It doesn't.
Okay, I'm going to share something with you guys. And it's extremely, extremely important. I don't normally come on here and tell you guys to watch something. I'm okay if you watch 2 seconds or whatever, but your life depends on you knowing this information, because right now, you, just like me, we don't watch the mainstream media anymore. This is something that needs to be shared with any and everybody. This is so far beyond Project 2025, so far beyond the planes falling out of the sky, all the fires, all the flooding. This is, I don't want you to get caught off guard, because when I saw it, and they're depending on us being mystified and distracted. That's what grifters do. And you guys, if you're not scared after you watch this, I don't know what to tell you, but you need to share this and share it with any and everybody. Do you understand me? Watch this.
It's heartbreaking for me to say this, but in the first 6 months of the Trump presidency, Trump and Elon Musk and their billionaire friends have engaged in a stunning rampage of open public corruption. It's not fundamentally different than what happened in Russia. These are efforts to steal from the American people to enrich themselves. And their strategy is to do it all out in the open, to do it at such a dizzying pace that the country just gets overwhelmed or anesthetized or dulled into a sense that we just all have to accept the corruption, or maybe more charitably, that this is just how government works, that government is just corrupt, and so the fact that it's happening out in the open instead of happening secretly, well, it's really nothing new. But this is not how government works. Things that have happened over the last 6 weeks are unprecedented. The president and his billionaire friends are not supposed to steal from us. They are not supposed to use their power and their access to power, their access to government levers, to rig the rules to enrich themselves. That has always been wrong. It is still wrong. And we do not have to accept this. And so in the next few minutes, I want to try out an exercise. I want to try to lay out for you as quickly as I can just some of the most significant instances of blatantly corrupt activity that's happened in just the first 6 weeks of Trump's presidency. When you see it all together, there is no way to avoid a simple conclusion. This White House is on its way to being the most corrupt in the history of the country. And just because they are doing it out in the open for everybody to see doesn't mean that it's not corrupt. My hope is that if you see it all in one place, the gravity of this moment may hit you. My hope is that my colleagues and the public choose not to normalize a president or his advisors using the Oval Office as a blunt mechanism to make themselves even wealthier. It is our decision to have zero tolerance for corruption. It's also our decision to just decide to become a place like Russia, where our leaders are allowed to routinely steal from us. So this is a heartbreakingly long list. This is just 20 or so examples of corrupt behavior in the first 6 weeks of the Trump presidency. So here it goes. We're going to start on January 17th. On January 17th, Trump launches the meme coin. This is maybe the most corrupt of all the acts, because what is the meme coin? The meme coin is essentially a mechanism by which Russian oligarchs or corporate CEOs can literally send money privately directly to Donald Trump. Nobody knows who buys the meme coin, but Trump makes money when people buy it. And so it is just an open sewer valve that allows for anybody who is trying to influence the Trump administration to be able to secretly funnel money to Donald Trump. He reserves 80% of the coin. He waits to release that coin until the price jumps back up again, which essentially means he's waiting for people who want favors from him to buy a bunch of the coin to inflate the value so that he releases more and makes more money. It's a disgusting kind of corruption, because this is essentially Trump just posting his Venmo for anybody secretly to wire him as much money as they want. We've never seen something like this before, where anybody who has anything to gain from the Trump administration through a manipulation of the value of Trump's meme coin can funnel money directly to the president. Whisper in his ear, that was me. That was me that purchased all that coin, that jumped up the value, that allowed you to release new coin. Hey, take care of me on the back end. On January 20th, when he's sworn in, he institutes his new energy agenda. Now, open reporting suggested that during the campaign, he met with the oil and gas industry, and they cut a deal in which the oil and gas industry would give him $1 billion of campaign contributions in order to receive favorable treatment when Trump was sworn in. And guess what happens on January 20th? Trump unveils his energy strategy. And what does it do? It preferences oil and gas, and it punishes oil and gas's competitors. It, for instance, freezes all permits on wind projects, both for the land and the sea competitors. Oil and gas got exactly what they asked for. They gave a campaign contribution, and they got the...
Stop calling my phone. Sorry about that, y'all. If they don't stop calling my phone.
Inspectors General. What do inspectors general do? They look for corruption inside of these agencies. What do you do if you are trying to engage in corruption?
Listen, y'all.
Trying to steal from the American people, you fire the inspectors general. 2 days later, on January 27th, Trump fires Quinn Wilcox from the NLRB. This is the National Labor Relations Board. When she's fired, the National Labor Relations Board cannot function any longer. Why does this matter? Because the person that has been put in charge of reviewing the hirings and firings of these agencies is Elon Musk, who, by the way, has lots of cases before the NLRB. So do the people that are standing behind Trump during the inauguration. Almost all of them.
Hit that like button, please.
For the NLRB, the billionaires.
Hi, Queen Tori.
Because on January 27th, the NLRB is rendered powerless.
Hi, everyone that's just coming in. Hello, thank you. Hit the like button, please.
More than $800,000 worth of stock to several of the board members of the Trump Media and Technology Group. This is the publicly traded company behind his social media platforms. So now his cabinet members, people like Kash Patel and Linda McMahon, are owning equity in Trump's media platform, equity that can be cashed out, sold to people who want to buy them out of their interest at any time. Those people who might want to buy them out, cabinet members, could be individuals with issues before the Department of Education, before the FBI. Yet another avenue in which people who have influence, who want to gain influence inside the Trump administration, have a conduit to be able to move cash from their pocketbooks, from their treasury, from their bank accounts into the bank accounts of Trump cabinet members. Shortly thereafter, we start to see the weaponization of the DOJ. On February 23rd, a civil complaint from DOJ that had been pending against SpaceX, Elon Musk's signature company, is dropped. 8 days later, the DOJ drops a case against a Republican congressman. On February 19th, 2 or 3 weeks later, the DOJ opens up something called Operation Whirlwind, which seeks to target anyone who dares try to obstruct or criticize the work of Elon Musk and Doge. Over the course of the first few weeks, the DOJ is turned into an entity that drops cases against those who are loyal to Donald Trump and pursues aggressively investigations against those who are trying to criticize Donald Trump. On February 1st, Trump fires the director of the CFPB and announces plans to shutter the Consumer Financial Protection Board. Again, very much like the NLRB, this is an agency that was, at the moment that it was rendered powerless, investigating Elon Musk and many of the biggest financial backers of Donald Trump. So once again, those that have access to Donald Trump, the billionaires that are close to him, now don't have to worry about labor violations being investigated by the NLRB. Now they don't have to worry about consumer protection actions being taken against them by the CFPB. On February 4th, there is the first of 2 extraordinary meetings in the White House in which Donald Trump convenes his business partners, the Saudi Golf League and the PGA, to try to negotiate a solution to the dispute between those 2 golf leagues. Why? Because Trump has a business interest in that dispute being resolved. The Saudi Golf League plays tournaments at Trump's courses in the United States.
Conflict of interest.
If the White House, using its official power, can try to negotiate a settlement between those 2 groups, Trump stands to make money. On February 6th, something absolutely stunning happens. Pam Bondi, the AG, issues a memorandum in which she proposes to dull the criminal enforcement of the Foreign Agents Registration Act. If you are representing a foreign government before the United States, you have to register so that we know if you are acting on behalf of American interests or you are acting on behalf of foreign interests. In the prior Trump administration, Trump officials got in big trouble for secretly working for and getting paid by foreign governments without registering. Well, what does Trump announce? That they are going to limit the applicability of the enforcement of that statute, making it much easier for Trump's friends, for his MAGA crowd, for the people who show up to Mar-a-Lago, to get paid quietly by foreign governments in order to influence Donald Trump. On February 10th, maybe aside from the meme coin, the most stunning act of corruption, the Eric Adams quid pro quo, in which Eric Adams, indicted for corruption.
I talked about this on my channel, remember? Listen carefully, please.
In exchange for the mayor's pledge of political loyalty to Donald Trump. They literally went on TV and announced the deal that we're getting rid of the charges against Eric Adams as long as the mayor pledges political loyalty to the president. That was so corrupt that 6 or 7 DOJ officials resigned because they refused to withdraw those charges. But the deal went through because the 7th or the 8th or the 9th official finally filed the withdrawal. And now in America, it is 100% clear that if you want to get away with corruption, if you want to steal from your constituents and you're an elected official in this country, all you have to do is just sign up for political loyalty with Donald Trump, and he will instruct the Department of Justice to let you get away with it. On February 10th, Donald Trump directs the DOJ to pause enforcement of U.S. laws that prohibit companies from paying bribes overseas. Come on. Like, come on. He instructs the DOJ to pause enforcement of U.S. laws that prohibit companies to pay bribes overseas. Here's an example. Goldman Sachs was engaged in outright bribery. They were paying bribes to Malaysian officials so that they could get a contract to manage the resources of the Malaysian Sovereign Wealth Fund. American companies should not be overseas bribing foreign governments. That compromises America's reputation and America's national security. But now we are going to pause enforcement of the laws that stop American companies from bribing foreign governments because corruption is now being normalized. This is what you do if you want to normalize corruption, is that you make it legal for American companies to engage in corruption overseas. That makes it easier for Trump to get away with corruption here. 2 days later, on February 12th, the announcement comes out that the State Department is going to buy $400 million of armored Teslas. Okay, so now it's getting even more blatant. It's getting even more brazen.
All in our faces.
Just going to buy a whole bunch of product from Elon Musk, product that they were not previously scheduled to buy. It is true that the Biden administration had a blueprint that was going to buy some electric vehicles, but it was around $483,000 worth of vehicles. Trump revises that blueprint of spending so that now the federal government is going to spend $400 million on armored Teslas from Elon Musk. Let's see. That's February 12th. That same day, Elon Musk's people infiltrate the Department of Labor. And reporting suggests that during that infiltration, Elon Musk's personal representatives get access to enforcement information at OSHA, not only against Elon Musk's companies. And by the way, SpaceX has an employee injury rate that is 9 times higher than the industry average.
That's true.
But also workplace safety violations against Elon Musk's competitors. Here's the message. If you are close to Donald Trump personally, if you support him politically, you can get secret access to enforcement data against your country, against your companies, and your company's competitors. That's what happens on February 12th. 3 days later, there's some suspicious firings at the FDA. Again, personal financial interests. Elon Musk owns a medical device company called Neuralink. It is currently being reviewed by the FDA. And guess
Sorry
what?
about that.
On
I had to put my
February 15th
phone on
and
a
16th,
charger.
All over a weekend, there are 20 people fired from the FDA's Office of Neurological and Physical Medicine Devices. Fired by Doge, run by Elon Musk. Clear message, you're going to get fired if you aren't on the right side of Elon Musk's application. Now, whether that was explicit or not, if the guy who is firing you has a pending application before your department, aren't you going to think twice? Aren't you going to think twice about ruling against his interests? This is why this is all unprecedented. Again, this feels normal because it's been happening every day, but never before in American history have we allowed someone who has a pending application for approval of a medicine or a medical device to be able to personally decide who gets hired and who gets fired at the regulatory agency making the decision over that medical device. But now this stuff is happening every day because on February 15th as well, that same weekend, there's an announcement that the FDA cuts are going to be even deeper, perhaps as big as 50%. That means that hundreds of drugs and devices won't get approved at the FDA. And you know who benefits from that? The
Elon.
folks that are selling the snake oil products. And guess who's selling the snake oil products? The people who work for Donald Trump, selling Vita gummy scams. The director of the FBI is selling vaccine reversal pills. When the FDA gets gutted, it's the people who sell those unregulated products who stand to gain. On February 19th, 4 days later, we find out that the IRS is going to be cut by 7,000 people. And the biggest chunk of the folks who are going to be laid off are the people who do the audits of the billionaires and the millionaires and the corporations. And so once again, Elon Musk and the people standing behind Donald Trump on Inauguration Day are going to get off because the IRS just had its enforcement powers, its audit powers, absolutely gutted. That same day, on February 19th, you start to receive word that advertising on Elon Musk's platform is starting to grow again. And the reporting on February 19th indicates that American companies have come to the collective decision that they need to keep advertising on Elon Musk's platform because Elon Musk has so much regulatory power inside the federal government. That they need to make sure that they're paying Musk through Twitter and through X so that if they ultimately need something from the federal government, they can get it. This, again, is why we have never, ever in the history of this country allowed for the richest man in the world, somebody who controls major companies, to also have an official position inside the government. Because of course, it opens up these clear avenues where people are going to do business with him privately to try to curry favor with him publicly. I'm not done. It just keeps going. The next day, on February 20th, the CDC's advisory committee on
we all get the point that the American government is tainted because of Elon Musk and Donald Trump. There's so much, like he said, the list goes on and on and on. We'll be on here all night long if I play that entire video. And I actually don't have time to play that because I want to go have dinner. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go on to the next thing because that video is so long, we would be in here all day long. So I'm going to show you something else about what Elon Musk is doing to people.
And Elon Musk tweeted about me. I just got so many notifications
He's a
on my
bully.
phone from people all over on X just saying all sorts of horrific things about me, insults, threats, just crazy conspiracy theories about who I am and who funds me, and just stuff that's just outright not true.
As the Tesla takedown protests spread around the globe, Elon Musk went looking for a scapegoat. On March 10th,
he's targeting
he zeroed
women
in on Valerie Costa. Musk told his 22 million followers that she was a criminal, an attempt by the free speech absolutist to silence an individual American.
Free speech is the bedrock of democracy.
It's a lie. He doesn't value freedom of speech. I think he only
Nor
values
does
freedom of
Donald
speech for
Trump.
himself and people whose political views that align with his own.
So what's the truth? If Costa isn't a criminal mastermind, who is she exactly?
I'm one of the co-founders of the group Troublemakers in Seattle. We started just a little over a year ago as a group of people based in Western Washington State who wanted to build community around essentially climate action.
Her connection to the Tesla takedown? Tech support.
And I knew the person who was dealing with this, so I got on the phone with him and tried to troubleshoot this map tool, and it wasn't working. So I was like, well, why don't you just use the Troublemakers map tool for now, to put the actions on for this upcoming, weekend of actions.
The movement has exploded as Musk has overseen drastic cuts to the government. Tesla's share price has tanked, taking billions from Musk's net worth. So he sought to make Costa's life hell too.
I started getting threatening emails through my business website. I immediately went into action, trying to just shut down my online presence as much as possible. People were screenshotting my LinkedIn and sharing it, trying to make up stories about who I've been working for.
None of which were true.
I've, many people in this country, have had a small business, have, hustled to make my money over the years. I've never made that much money. I'm not rich. I live with housemates, in my 40s, and I live in Seattle, and I live with housemates.
Even without any secret mega funders, Costa and the Tesla takedown are clearly agitating the administration.
The infomercial, essentially, on the White House lawn where Trump called Tesla protesters domestic terrorists, and then you have Pam Bondi getting online, essentially saying the same thing and saying if you even go near a Tesla, it's domestic terrorism. I think we have these.
What that mean? Don't go near them. Don't buy them. Okay, she said don't go near them. Don't even bother to buy them.
Not even acknowledging free speech. I cannot just slink into the shadows. I have to get up and I have to fight back because if the government and our institutions won't hold Elon Musk accountable, at least we as people, as a collective whole, can do that. And I really do truly believe in the power of collective action.
We must hold Elon Musk and Donald Trump accountable because Look what they're doing to the American people. They are hurting the American people. They're taking away your rights. They're taking away your benefits. And Social Security is something that we paid into. So why should Elon Musk and Donald Trump and his billionaires that spent into his campaign take away from us? Why are they allowed our funding? Why has Elon Musk been allowed for us to fund billions of dollars to him? That's how he became a billionaire. The American tax dollars. One moment, please. We're going to head up out of here with this right here. I enjoyed this to the fullest. And on that note, that's all, folks. I thank each and every last one of y'all for coming to my live. This was Life Under Trump, part 101. We must continue to resist. We have to fight back against the powers that be. There will be no more of us. There will be no more of America. And there's no more freedom of speech. So when Elon Musk is talking about we got freedom of speech, no, we don't. There's no freedom of speech in this country. Not at all. And before you head up out of here, please hit that like button. Come on, show me some love. Hit that like button for me. Hit the like button before you head up out of here. You still have time to send me a super chat if you like. Also, when you watching on replay, send me a thank you. I thank each and every last one of y'all. Without you, I have no channel. Thank you. May God continue to bless all of you, and I love you all. Goodbye.